Hey guys, I've got another type breakdown, another personality type breakdown. We're doing Kanye West this time. I've got a ton of clips. I've got like 15 minutes worth of clips, and this first section of clips in particular is about 4 minutes long. So, what you might want to be doing is look at the descriptions on the right and the legend of the video and try to guess where I'm going to put each function. So, you can watch the clips, and once you get a gist for the function that I'm going to assign, you can just skip through the clips and then look where I put it.
Then we need to learn how to feel free. People say feel free, but we don't even know how to feel free or think free. Say what you feel, positive or negative. I love Daz. I love the Crips. I love the Bloods. I love everyone. How many people how many people felt something that I said today? Raise a hand if you felt something that I said today. Because we can fix and start loving each other now. When I think he might want to fight me, but I want to give him a hug. Okay. Bro, I'm sorry I hurt you.
You gotta be responsible, dog.
I'm sorry I hurt you, bro.
Your voice is too big. You gotta
I'm sorry I hurt you, bro. I love you, bro. I'm sorry I hurt you with my words, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I love you, bro.
Responsible, man.
Bro,
you gotta be responsible.
I didn't mean to say things that hurt you. I didn't mean to wear the hat out the blue and shock so many people and not give them a way out of the pain. I understand that gave them pain, that made them see pain. I think that we have to get next to everyone. We don't like Trump. We have to talk to them. We have to talk because Trump is a human being.
In that sense, I feel like that's my baby sis, and I would do any and everything to help her in any situation. So anything that I heard, I don't want to speak too much on it, but I was completely devastated by the concept of what I heard. I feel like just as a person, I don't care, I don't even how famous she is, or even if she just like worked at McDonald's, like that should never happen. It should never come to that place.
No, I just do what I'm feeling at the time. And if I'm tired of something, then I'm tired of it and I don't want to use it. And if I'm not tired of something, then I do want to use it. And I just base it off of that. Like some people don't like auto-tune, but I do. So I use it. You know why? Because my name is on the album. It's always good to express what you're going through, to be expressive, because these songs might help other people for what they're going through. What's the last album done by a very macho guy that expressed feelings and emotion? Like talked about heart, not just like sex and pretty girls and cars, but actually like kids and love and family. Oh yeah, I definitely think I'm right. I just stand up for what I believe in. That's it. It's like that's what my parents taught me, and I make my own mind up, and then I stand behind it.
I just felt if you put your heart into something and you had a grasp on what was really good and you knew you delivered a good product, you have the right to defend your product. Throw your hands up in the sky and say, "We don't care what people say." That right there is like a family member speaking to them. Whether it's just motivation, kids that don't have fathers. Like I feel like I'm a father to a lot of people. My music speaks to them. It's a male role model to a lot of kids that don't have a father. Now that I see that I'm successful, it's my responsibility to help as many people as I can.
What do you think?
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give. Never sit in an award show again, but will I feel convicted about things that really meant stuff to culture that constantly get denied for years and years and years and years? I'm sorry. I will. I cannot lie about it in order to sell records. I could be vilified or misunderstood, and like I said, I didn't come here to be liked. I came here to make a difference.
All right, so that was about 4 minutes of Introverted Feeling clips. In particular, there's like one that I just rewatched where he's screaming in the TMZ office, like, "We need to talk about how we feel." And there's it's just in like a ton of different interviews where he's like saying, he's praising the act of talking about how you feel. So I'm like, okay, that for one, along with the other things that are in this video, I'm like, okay, so maybe introverted feeling is his auxiliary function, but that still leaves extroverted intuition or extroverted sensation. But for sure, for damn sure, I know after that, introverted feeling, that's what I'm going to put as my first guess for the auxiliary function. And that's an area of fostering and protecting that seemed obvious to me, and that's why I put that as my first guess. Now, I'm going to start from there because that's pretty watertight.
This reality has been forced upon us. It is a choice, just like when I said slavery is a choice. The reality, we can make our own reality.
Around, so there's theories that there's infinite amounts of universe and there's alternate universe. So it's very important for me to get Hoover out because in an alternate universe, I am him.
And I think the way the universe works, it's perfect. We don't have 13 floors, do we? You know, so the four gentlemen that wrote the 13th Amendment.
You know, because think about the type of wild shit I used to say in interviews.
Yeah.
And imagine if someone said this very thing to a girl at a bar. No, I'm telling you, I sold all this, I sold this many shoes, da da da. And then she'd be like, yo, chill. I'm gonna stumble. I was like the 40-year-old version of of dealing with like corporations or something like that. I did not know how to communicate at all. And it's like I had my point. My message was, you know, simply like, your egg, my semen, we change the world, you know, and
then I'm like, okay, so it's got to be an extroverted. He's got to be an extroverted intuitive or an extroverted sensor from that. If I know the auxiliary function, or I'm guessing, my best guess for the auxiliary function is introverted feeling, then I've got to find some evidence that this person is either an extroverted sensor in the hero position or an extroverted intuitive. So I watched these videos where he was really shitty at getting his ideas across, and he couldn't talk to someone else and inspire them with his ideas. They were clear to him, but he couldn't get them across to other people in an appropriate manner. And the ways in which he failed at doing this were demonic. And then there's like one daimonic. If I have to talk about that section that's to the right of the word demonic, then the daimonic side is is like the redeeming side, which is where like he realizes that he's really shitty at getting ideas across to people, and he tried to work on that.
It's a difference between a dream and just being delusional. Don't just drop out of school. Like, I was already making money in the music industry. I had a platinum plaque before I dropped out of school.
Right.
And I had a deal on the table with Columbia, with Sony.
Right.
And I flew in, and I remember saying, I'm going to be bigger than Jermaine Dupri. I'm going to be bigger than Michael Jackson. And I didn't realize that the person I was talking to was actually Jermaine Dupri's father or whatever. So, you know, so I really been wilding out since day one. So this is not new. People say, oh, Kanye, you got all big and you started wilding out. Like, no.
You wilded out.
Yeah, I was like, in 8th grade, they canceled the talent show. They said, this is not finna be the Kanye West show. So,
No.
so basically, life is like a game. So you had to play the game the way you want to play it. You see how I play it. I get on TV and say stuff to spark people's attention. I make songs that are not supposed to be on the radio. I help artists that need help. I try to put my friends in better positions. I try to change music and use that ability to maybe change the world. Back in Atlanta, and I'll say that, you know, I was pretty good. I wasn't one of the best, but son, what do you think you stand? And I looked at him, I said, I am the best. And this is 16.
What's so crazy is like because of I tell these exact same jokes, and if I was a broke nigga, I'd be considered a perv. But now, cause like I do what I do and I like follow my dream, I'm kind of successful at it. It's just a beautiful thing. I can say whatever I want. People just look at it like, oh, he's an artist, it's all okay, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I want people to say shit behind my back, man. People talking, man. And then y'all looking at this like, yo, this nigga's an idiot. And that's exactly what I want you to think.
We're a $14 billion company losing $2 billion a year. Now we have a $38 billion market cap. It's called the Yeezy effect. So I had the balls, because I had enough balls to put on this hat. I mean, this Adidas thing made me a billionaire. And I could have lost $200 million walking away from that deal. The pharmaceuticals. And make more money. That's one thing. I've never stepped into a situation where I didn't make people more money.
And then after watching some interviews where he was like really braggadocious and arrogant with, you know, the way he saw things and the way he saw the way things were, I was like, okay, this guy is an extroverted sensing hero. Especially with the other, like with the implications of the other things I've seen here, it's pretty much a wrap at this point. But I'm gonna go through the other functions. But at that point, that's when I knew. That's when I was like, okay, for me at least, I'm pretty sure this guy's ESFP.
with conviction. But it will always be, if you say, okay, I got a gun, you will say like, yo, I got a gun. But they showed me how to say, can I help you? Like, can I help you?
Yeah.
And that's all that this album is. It's can I help you? Can I help you? So it's like you give that, so people don't actually realize that they're getting like positive energy because it sounds like the exact same thing. It's a trick. You know?
Go ahead, it's a what?
It's a trick, like Jesus Walks is a trick. They told me it would never be played on the radio, so the second verse was reverse psychology for program directors. They say you can rap about anything except for Jesus, right? Is it? Oh no, we can play that. We can play Jesus. What that boy talking about? I don't know what he talking about.
Right?
That's true. I always tell people I dropped out of school in order to learn. People go and speak to kids, and it'll be that one speaker that comes in, and he actually says a curse word. That curse word sparks everybody's attention. And right when everybody's open, he gives you all this information. He sneaks it in. And that's kind of what I did. I spit a lot of stuff where it's like we laugh to keep from crying.
Then we're on to an area of manipulation and paradox, the trickster, which is the slot, I guess you could say. That's like the common parlance in the personality type community or whatever the hell this is saying slot. But it's like the place that we're putting this is an area of manipulation and paradox. It's mischievous, creates double binds, circumvents obstacles. And for me, this was really cool to see that it was introverted thinking. I mean, obviously, I already guessed that, but it was cool to see how it played out when I was watching the interviews, because he talks about how he learned some like reverse psychology tricks by talking to other rappers, and he was saying other rappers will scream like I got a gun, and then he'll scream positive things with like the same inflection, and then he'll get people to play his positive, or he used to get people to play his like positive shit on the radio by saying it's about Jesus or something like that. But it's cool because he's got his own logic to it that he describes how he does these like reverse psychology tricks.
Black people have a tendency to focus and march when a white person kills a black person or wears a hat. But when it's 700 kids being killed in Chicago, it's okay. It's okay for blacks to kill blacks. But if it's a white thing...
A lot of times people give with an agenda of getting a specific thing back from that specific person. You can't control anyone. You can't say, hey, I gave you these things, you owe me this back. You have to give and know that your blessings will be tenfold, period.
That would be hypocritical to ever say that you're a better person than anybody, because a gangster rapper could be a way nicer person. Like people think 50 Cent is way nicer than me. You know what I'm saying? Because people talk to me and I'll be like,
in so
like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They were like, whoa, you know? So if you take like a 50 Cent, you take a song like In the Club, and even though it's talking about violence, the ultimate goal of the song is to make you feel good, to make you dance. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Exclusivity is the new N-word. Not nigga. Exclusivity. Am I saying the word right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the new N-word. Because nothing should be exclusive. Everyone should have an opportunity to drink from the same fountain. The idea of exclusivity is a new colored people fountain concept.
So now we're at Extroverted Feeling, which has to do with the way that you decide whether or not someone is expressing themselves in the right way emotionally or in a social setting. And this is in the area of the Senex, or limit setting and control.
First of all, it's a limit to amount of jobs. So the fathers lose the jobs and they say, we'll give you more money for having more kids in your home. And the prison rates just shot up. And now you have Chirac, what people call Chirac, which is actually our murder rate is going down by 20% every year. I just talked to the superintendent, met with Michael Sachs. That's
House beat, I haven't quite fully accomplished that, but I'd like to. I'd like to be able to make an album that's completely house, but as good as some of the classics. I want to be able to make music like that. I just have to keep on going to the studio and trying. Like house music used to have like these full-on orchestrations, horns, symphonies, these screaming chorus lines on top of them and stuff. I'm just combining like a lot of different styles of music. And I think because I'm hip-hop, I feel like I have the right to use whatever type of music I want. Because that's one thing about hip-hop is like, we'll sample anything we want, just make it hip-hop. But now, like more so than being hip-hop music, I think I'm Kanye West music. This album I just dropped is my most cohesive sounding album out of any of my albums. It like really sounds like all these songs belong together. Whereas some of my other albums, you could tell they were recorded at completely different times and kind of just placed together.
Church a lot. But my father really, when I would come home, like we'd be driving home from Delaware, and he'll explain to me how we stay in PG and DC and how this is one of the murder capitals of the world and how most of these murders are surrounded around triangle relationships. And he explained how these songs, they have hidden agendas and negative connotations even though it seems like they're talking about love. So for that 3-hour ride, instead of getting to hear the radio, I would have to hear him break down social issues and the black father not being in the home, or triangle relationships. And I did not have the information, enough information in that situation to call him a racist. That might have been the emotion that I felt. But me being a rational, well thought out, empathetic human being and thinking about it after the fact, I would have chosen different words.
All right, and then for extroverted thinking, this is an area of immaturity in play. It's an endearing, vulnerable child who coasts by improvising. So I've played a bunch of clips, but there's notable clips where he talks about how he improvises and how he writes music and how he likes to play around with different styles of music, how he puts albums together in a kind of improvised way.
No, I just focus more on my music. When I produce a song, for me, it's like, not only do I do the song, but I also like think of like the outfit that I'm gonna wear when I do the song, and how I'm gonna present it to the world, and what the video is gonna look at, and how it's gonna be performed. And there's only a couple of artists in the world who take that amount, that care as much as I do. No, not political at all. I don't get into it. I like looking at clothes and art and movies, like, and making music.
No, it's not. It's whatever I can think of that I want to paint using, metal, porcelain, diamonds, precious stones, whatever it takes to represent that, and just make really nice pieces of jewelry. I want like the pieces that we wear to be comparable. I know I can get a Negro please for this, but like to like a Fabergé egg or something, like the ghetto version, I guess.
Most producers, that can make music that knocks, which is like 90% of producers can make things that knock, especially with Fruity Loops and all that. The sound was usually colder. And then my sound is known for being very colorful and warm, but sometimes I'd be challenged on my mixes that everything didn't knock as hard as I wanted to. Or maybe by the time it came out it did, but people didn't realize I did 27 mixes to get to that point. But Dilla, every time, it's like that kick just sat so perfectly. Felt like drugs. I mean, his music just sounded like good pussy.
So now we're on to introverted sensing, which has to do with your personal sensing preferences. And it's in an area of the opposing personality, which is an area of frustration and challenge and defends by offending, avoiding, seducing. It's a self-critic. So there's a bunch of clips. There's notably one clip, because this video is getting long. I want to end the commentary. But there's one clip where he's self-critical about how he makes beats. And he talks about how he prefers this other guy's beats better. And he wishes that he could get his beats finished in fewer mixes than it usually takes him to get his beats just the perfect way that he likes it.
It will be remembered. Our existence as a race, humanity, period, is a blip, a millisecond of our life in the entire scope of the universe. It makes us, be so focused on a personal legacy as opposed to an entire legacy of a race. Like the dinosaurs aren't remembered for much more than their bones. So for when humanity's gone, what do we give to even this little planet, that we're on?
Because the greatest thing that a man has to give to anyone, whether it's their kids or whether it's their wife, is time. And how much time do we spend, chasing the American dream or chasing money and materialistic things? And how much time do we actually give to the women and children? Life is not all or nothing. Life sometimes is a ration of this and a ration of that to make the perfect mixed drink.
I just think it was in God's plan. I think I survived my accident.
We'll come back
for
to
a
that in a
reason.
moment. Yeah.
I think He just has me here for a reason, that I have something to say, and that my one issue though I have is that I don't believe that people that don't believe that are going to hell though. But you're supposed to believe that.
You don't see this as much in clips where he's younger, but in the clips where he's more successful and he's older, you'll see what we're going to assign to the anima section, or the area of embarrassment and idealization, and we're going to assign introverted intuition, because you see all these like really introspective and philosophical like soliloquies basically. I had to edit a lot of these because he just drones on and on and on, but it's obviously idealized, and it's something that he would like to be known for, but he's just not known for it, because if people are looking for philosophers, they usually don't, like Kanye West doesn't really sound like a serious choice, even though you can tell from these that he would wish to be taken seriously here, and he's not bad at it, but it's just that there's other people that are stronger in this area. So with that, we've got 8 out of 8 functions assigned, and I would say that Kanye West is likely ESFP, which I was able to guess like way earlier on. So I hope you guys found this video a little bit entertaining. Hope it was instructional as well, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.